restart the recording. There we go. Let me put this over here on this screen. MSoft does, and we have unlimited on that. We're limited to the recordings. So I bring the recordings down locally and put them up on Dropbox. Speaking of which, that reminds me, I owe you a few links to those. So I'll get those.
What do you guys have to pay for that for Zoom? I know you can get it for free if you're not meeting for more than 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, 45 minutes, an hour, or something. I forget what it is that we pay. It's not terrible. In fact, I was going to do it. Let's see here.
Oh, I thought of a couple of other things that I need to get you to show me how to do.
All right. Let's see. Zoom is.
I found a company that sells TerraModel, and I actually bought a suite of it so that I can open my old files without having to depend on someone else to do that.
Yeah.
And the outfit is in Australia.
Huh. Okay. Well, isn't that where Trimble was from?
Well, I don't know. Trimble, Charlie Trimble, I think was an American.
Yeah.
They have a close. The company's name is Geocomp Systems, and evidently they have a close relationship with Trimble. The guy and I talked about mutual friends or acquaintances that we ran into at Trimble conferences, and I stopped going to. My last Trimble conference was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
I've lost track of all of those people.
Well, yeah, here I just ran across the Zoom pricing. It's like $15 a month per host.
That's not.
And we just have the one host. It was really for me. They, the other guys don't need it, and it was for me to be able to do the teaching. So. Yeah, it's not bad. There's an actual, no, crap. Sorry, there was here we go. That's VoIP, voice over IP providers, Ring Central, Vonage, GoToConnect, Zoom, Pantera, Uma, Office. Anyway, there's a number of those kinds of things out there. WebEx. So and they're all pretty close to the same. There's you can use Skype, and I think that's actually, I think it's free. I'm not sure. I don't recall what because I know it's included with Windows. And there's Microsoft Teams. That's another one that I use a bit, but I don't buy it. I'm always a client login on those things, so I don't know if somebody's paying to set up a Microsoft Teams thing or not. So
let me ask you a question about the current drawing that we're looking at.
All right.
The red line that shows my viewport. Will that red line show up when I plot this?
It will not. And the reason that it will not is that it as long as it's on on a given layer that has excuse me, there's a setting for each layer as to whether they'll plot or not. And they are, if you'll let's see here, give me that. And I'll show you what that is. I can't, there it is. Okay, so I, when we drew the viewports, we put them on this layer here.
Okay.
And you see this column
Yeah.
that says print. You
Yeah.
just toggle that. Now, if I turn it back on, then yes, it will print. If I do that, no, it won't.
Okay.
So that means I can see it, but it won't print. Okay. Now, also notice its color is 241.
Yeah.
But it shows up as red where everything else is black, unless we have some gray kind of stuff. And the reason for that is right here in this, what's called a color table. It's a print style table, but it's pen assignments. The reason RMS monochrome grayscale is the name of. There's a number of different ones that they give you to start with. A standard one here, and then one called monochrome that everything is black. But when you choose this little button here to the side that lets you edit that particular file, and so anything in the drawing that is color 1 is going to print black, color 2, black, 3, 4, so on. And you can choose, what color those are. All right. Now, when I get down here to the end, I like to use these starting with color 250. I'm going to let it plot with color 250, 251, 252, 3, 4, and 5. See, that says use object color.
Yeah.
But here's color 251 or 241 that I use to draw the viewports.
Yeah.
And it's just completely arbitrary which color I chose. I just chose it because it's pink, but I want it to show up as red. So anything that you need to plot in red, let's say you wanted your stamp to be red, you could change its color to 241. It would look pink on the screen, but when it plots, it would be red as long as we're using this this page setup. And then finally, the reason everything in there is black except for those frames is because I've got right here where it says display print styles.
Yeah.
So if I turn that off for a minute, I want you to see what it looks like. See how everything goes back to its same color and the viewports are that pink looking 241?
Yeah.
But now the reason for this, and it's a hotly contested thing, a lot of people get used to stuff and don't like to do it. But when you do it this way, and particularly because you can not only assign colors, you can assign line weights, all kinds of different things to those specific colors. And a lot of people who've used AutoCAD for years and years in the past say, well, yeah, but I know when I see a yellow line that it's going to plot black and thick. Well, I'm such a visual person that I need to see what it is. And it's bad enough I have to stumble around these red viewports. I don't have to see them. I could freeze that layer. But I do that because I know when I click inside it and outside of it, if I'm jumping back and forth into the model.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Now, is that the vicinity map of viewport?
Mm-hmm. Yes. If I click right there and select it, and I look up here in well, I've got two things selected. There are two things there. I think there's okay, no, okay. Yeah, there's a polyline underneath the viewport as well. So that when when it plots, it will have that little frame and then this other one underneath it. In fact, I don't think, yeah, IntelliCAD does not support print preview yet. We have to plot it to a PDF and then look at the PDF, but still.
And one thing I was doing the other day when we were working on that other job, and I did it a lot, and I just cannot for the life of me remember how we did it. I want to put a dimension, a distance between these two lines. I put a note saying what the setback is, but I just want to show a typical distance. I
Sure.
cannot for the life of me remember, was that a annotate command?
It, excuse me, it can be. Yeah, I mean, it can be. There's a number of ways to do it. And if you did it from a typical annotate, now remember, most of these things under annotation are dealing with the drawn geometry, so that the you would need to do it from inside model space so that it goes with it at the viewport moves and all that. So so the one thing that you can do, and if you remember, we did those corners, I guess that's what you were talking about, those the distance between.
Yeah.
And it's, what it does is it generates a dimension. I mean, we could just do a standard CAD dimension, but what it is in your tools, so maybe that's an easier way to think about it.
Was it a draw text command we were using?
Well, no. So I'm going to double click inside of here. So now what that is, if you think about it from a survey plat standpoint, what else do you normally do when you put those perpendicular ties off of property lines? You go to like house corners, right? And you show those ties. Okay. That's what we did, except instead of using the house corner, we used the corner of the little dashed line, the setback line. So now that we're in here, we're going to go up to annotate. I'll show you where the command is. I'll let you do it. And it's called survey text. It's the last of the first block. And those are your, you can set some defaults, but then you can do offset dimensions, building dimensions, or adjoiner text. So if you choose, now building dimensions, that's just the distances around all the walls of the building.
Okay, I don't want to do that one.
Right, it's an offset dimension, okay? So what you're gonna do is pick a corner that you want to show an offset. So that's that one, okay? And then you're gonna pick the line you're gonna go to, and there it is, okay? And
nothing happened.
Nothing happened. What happened? Where is it? What's going on? Dimension style restore. Hold on a second.
So I was using the right command the other day, just nothing was happening.
Yeah, let me take a
I know why. I'll bet I know why. I'll bet that setback limit isn't in its own paper space, not in.
Maybe. Let's see. No, they're both in model space. See, they lit up.
Okay.
Now, I also want to put this guy up so it clips the end of that. Same thing here.
Is that a right click?
Remember that
you do that, you select it and do a right click?
Yes, you right click and hold the button down if you need to a little longer, and then bring it to the front. There's another one. Is it all of them? Let's get them all at once. I'm going to select that one, that one. I'll go ahead and select that one even though it's solid. And what are we doing up here? I think we got those already. All right, and then we'll just right click, draw order, front. Okay. Now, let's come back here and figure this out. Now, first of all, these are, these lines right here are setbacks.
Yes.
Should they, see they're drawn with the same line style as your property line?
Yeah.
You should, okay, in fact, yeah, in fact, we probably want to even put those on a different layer. So in case you drew this somewhere.
On a different layer. It's supposed to be on the setback limit layer.
Well, it's on resub.
Oh,
See up here?
yeah.
So, and that is what that one is on. Is this also on resub? All right, they're on resub. Now, the line type says by layer. So maybe if we just change their layer, if there is a setback, it'll fix that. Setback limits. And let's do a regen. And it didn't, so let's see if that layer has a line style assigned to it. Setback limit is a continuous line, so let's make it instead dashed or dashed 2 or hidden or phantom. Let's see what we like the best.
What does phantom mean?
It's a like mechanical drawing, and I'm not sure exactly what it means.
I always thought phantom mean that it meant that it wouldn't show up.
No, and I don't know why it's called that, but it's something to do with the fact that it's not really visible in the product that you're drawing. But I think, but I'm not sure of that. So now that one is, well, it's still a line and 2 dashes, the phantom style. So we're not going to use that one. But one that we could do now, right now we're going to look at dash, but there's another one called hidden that has a slightly different spacing on it. And you can see all the different ones here. But looks like hidden is a real tight. Here's a hidden X2. Let's try that one.
Yeah, that looks good.
There we go. Much nicer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and also because, let me show you something else that we can do. If you notice, see how that corner's missing?
Yeah.
It's because it's taking the line pattern and it's going continuously around past corners. So if that corner happens to be right where that gap is, then it's not going to show up. And that is a thing over here called line type generation. And if I say no, then what that does is every time it hits a vertex, every time it hits one of these points, there's a point, there's a point, and there's a point, it starts the pattern over again. And in fact, you see that one right there?
Yeah.
There's not a gap because it started it over again.
Right.
But that one I would probably be willing to live with. Now, see, here's another case where it's looks like a long one. But it's entirely up to you whether you want to see the corners and live with those occasional little joins, or if you want the gaps to maybe be on the corners.
No, I think that's okay the way it is.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know that I'll remember how to do it again, but.
All right. Yeah, it's a thing called line type generation.
Oh, there's another corner where we have number 307 where the line's going through it. But
Oh,
maybe we
yes.
need to do an REA.
Nope, we didn't get that one. No, it's good. Okay, but yeah, that's a good thought to always do an REA. Wow, they built those buildings right in those setbacks. That's nice.
3/10
Wow.
off of the setback limit.
Wowee. They can't even.
I don't know if they had those buildings staked out or not. I'd have been. I'm too nervous to stake out something that's close. That's close. Well, I'm not too nervous. I've done it before, like when I'm staking out townhouses or something. But I'm always afraid that the contractor will mess up, and then it'll be my fault.
Yep, of course. So, okay, so now let's see what happened to our survey text. I'm going to first look at our survey text defaults. And our offsets are going to go on a layer called dimin txt. And we use endpoint, we'll drop trailing, we'll suppress the extension lines, and text placement will be parallel to the line itself, and then we're going to pick a position. All right, dual arrows. All right, so that should be okay. Let's make sure that our dim text is not frozen in this viewport. And I look over here and I see that it is thawed, so that's all should have been fine. So what happened? So if we annotate survey text, offset dimensions, I'm going to pick this line just anywhere it forces to the corner, and then I'm going to pick this line, it forces perpendicular, and then I normally would want to put it, when we say see, it reads the text. See down here, it says it's 25 feet.
Yeah.
Dimension style restored. Let me take a look at something over here for a minute. Let's click out of here for a sec. I'm gonna go to the model. If I do it here, yeah, see where now it's prompted me as to where to put it.
Yeah.
There I put it. And you see the text is sort of whopper drawed there too. It's not lined up. It's because of this orientation. But now see, once that's done, you see it's, I look up here, it's just a dimension.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can't find the text outside line. Text horizontal. I say, there we go. And oops. I don't have any idea what that JIS means. But when this says centered, it's supposed to put it right in there. Oh, there it is. Do you see it shifted?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a lesson for us. It apparently, for whatever reason, can't do it. Even when you click inside the viewport, let's see if there's any more of those that we did from the last times.
I don't think we did any on this drawing.
No, I mean, those last couple of commands where it failed on us, I didn't know if maybe it got stuck off somewhere in outer space. So we're good to go there.
Okay, I need to put it on the other side.
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to let you do that while you're here, and then just watch the prompt. So once you choose the corner and then choose the line, it's going to then have you place it where you want it to go. Okay, now don't worry about that 25 right now. I'm going to show you a trick in a minute to fix that.
Okay. Okay, I'm good.
All right, do you need out to East Burr? Do you need to do it that way or just needed those side ones?
No, I just want to, I've indicated in a note that it's 25 feet
Oh,
on
okay.
all sides, so I'm going to leave it like that unless they make me do that.
All righty, gotcha. Now, I think this is going to work. I'm going to match the properties of this one and apply them to this one.
Okay.
It's called match properties, and this is just a CAD thing, and it's just a little broom up here, or paintbrush rather, not a broom.
Yeah.
So if I match the properties, that one to that one, all right, so it's now matched. So maybe we'll have to start. No, it's not. Apparently it didn't like that. All right, so let me go back to the text of the dimension. And text outside a line. Horizontal and vertical is centered. I'm going to put it above and then switch it back to centered. Oh, I know what I had to do. I had to change this to 0. There we go. Now I've got to grab it and grab the text and just start repositioning it. So I'll put it like right there, or maybe down. Right in there. There we go. Now back to that.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. Now you've got, see this adjoiner and this adjoiner, this text is a different style. I can tell that just by looking at that. And there's also this down here that we had left over.
Yeah, I've got to move that out of the way.
Does that need to get moved, or does it need to be brought up here and shown, or what?
I just did that as an example. There is
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I'm just going to select it and delete it. We don't need that anymore. Okay, now.
Now there
So
should be one down there, but it's disappeared from the drawing.
I bet that was in paper space when you did that over here. Just like this one is in paper space.
Yeah.
It looks like they all are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
there it is.
There it is.
Yeah. All right, now. If we select this, that's on layer adjoiner. Do you want them to be black and bold like that, or do you need them or want them to be gray or anything?
No, I'm okay with them being dark like that. I don't.
Okay. But let's match them up so that they all have the same text.
Okay.
And it looks like that's okay, but maybe the top line is different. Let me see before I go to edit that. If I just select that, its style is PTXT. That's the style that your points are made in. So let's see, what else did we have? Standard, slant, notes, legend. I didn't call one called adjoiners.
What style is that in? Slant?
It's called slant. But we can make your own style. Let's see, where's my paper text?
Instead of making them so dark so that they grab.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me see something else here too. you're going to want to do this. There we go. Now let's see what that text height is. Paper text height is still 0. If I say 0.1, wow. And that should be a pure 1-to-1. Good heavenly days. All right, let me take that off. Let's make it not annotative because it's in paper space anyway. So no, not annotative. Text height is 0.1. All right, now let's move that. A little way down here. All right, now, so excuse me. The question is like, is that, or let's do something else here a minute, Mike. I'm going to go here to this little layer thing. I'm going to come down to text styles, and right there's slant. Now that's one that I had already started into your drawing template. And it's a little bit of a compression so that it's not so wide, and it uses that single stroke Roman simplex. And of course they had to put an IC in front of it because Autodesk sued everybody because they had a trademark on that Roman S. So anyway, regardless of that, whereas things like your p-text and notes and legend and all of these different things, you see they have a different font name. It doesn't have an SHX on it. Right. That's because that's a computer system font called a true type font. Now it can be anything we want. So I'm going to actually, while I'm here, let's make us a new one and let's call it a joiners. And that way we'll make sure we add this into your drawing template when the time comes. Okay. So if I set a joiners, now let's pick a font that we might want to use. And you want these to sort of be a little in the background and not so so bold and taking over the Plat. Right. And they could be any of these. Well, you can see. Let's do them as there's one that's nice and light, yet it's still and we'll give it about an 80% compression, and then we'll give it a 12% italic. Or do you want it to be italic or not?
I don't care. No.
Okay, so we'll not do italic. All right, so now we have a style that we call the joiners. It's made up of this font, and it's a little bit compressed. Each letter is squeezed down to 80% of its normal width. So if we select this and change its style to be joiners, if I can find it, there it is. Okay. And it's 1/10 of an inch, or maybe how tall do you want it on your paper?
What do you recommend? I don't have an opinion. I'm not.
I just don't know if, let me take a look at the.
This is the first Plat I've ever drawn.
Yeah, I'll take a look at one of the other Plats that you sent me. So if I go to your folder, Plat making, source documents, sample drawings. There's one called Good Example 2, Good Example 3. Let's look at that one. All right, so in Good Example 3, they are actually italic, but it looks like Roman simplex, so that's possible. We'll think that in a second. Let's look at good example 2. And if I look at the adjoiners, they are also italic. And they're about standard height, maybe a little bigger. All right, now let's look at good example. And if I look at that one, it is not italic, and that's the now or formally. And now they're like the same size as the bearings and distances and the descriptions on the text. So they look about standard. They're not set to be too tall, nor are they too little. It's Matt Cessna, his Plat. It's a nice looking Plat. Frederick Seibert and Associates. I know those guys. Did some training for them sometime way back in the past. It's a nice looking North Arrow there, dudes. All right, so let's change this. Instead of being like that, I'm going to change the style now. Here's adjoiners, text styles, adjoiners. We're going to take this compression off and put that back to 1, and I'm going to put this to this Roman simplex. Now here's another something to understand. The when you have a piece of text that is created out of a font like Arial, one of those computer fonts, then it has no effect. So if I, well, let me do it with these 2 that I know are in, ooh, there's something we got to get rid of. Got to push that out of the way. In fact, I'm just going to delete it because that's the C out of this adjoiner that we did in model space. Okay, so, all right, so now, if you have a piece of text that is created out of, like this is Arial, and this one is out of one of those CAD fonts called IC Roman S.SHX. That means it's a compiled shape font or shape file. But watch what happens. If I select that text, and you see this line weight over here, if I'm going to make that a real heavy line weight, and you see how that got heavier?
Yeah.
And it can even get, you know, super skinny also. But this one, if you change its line weight to be nice and heavy, see that's supposed to be really fat.
Yeah.
Or let's make it as skinny as you can make it. You see, it doesn't change.
Right.
And that's because it's built differently. So I'm just going to put this back to by layer, which is what we normally do. And I'll put this guy back to just say by layer as well. So no, it's on a layer called a joiner. That's right. So let's see what we told that layer to do. We want a joiner right here to be white, continuous. It's got a line weight of 0.3 millimeters. So it's a little bit heavier. Set it back to default for a minute. Make sure we're not messing anything else up here. Let's do a REA. And those lines are okay. That one's out in, that one's in the model. This one's not. So if I take those adjoiners. Now, you see that long dash, those two short dashes, and the gaps are really big and the dashes are not.
Yeah.
Do you want them to look like this, but still gray and thin, but the same line style?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to select this and find out what its line style is. And its line style or line type is bilayer, and it's on resub. So coming back out to here, this one has a line type. We gave it one. And that's called a joiner. And that's color 253. Now this is on layer a joiner. Here's another thing too, by the way. If you I think anyway, if you, okay, apparently not. It used to be that if you gave one of those CAD text the property of a particular line type other than continuous, it would, the text would draw like with dashed lines and such. I'm still not convinced that it's not doing it. Let me get to hidden. X2, I think was the one we looked at. And oops, duh. All right, so I think it's going to be all right as it were. Now, so that's that adjoiner. What was I doing? I was going to put the adjoiners. Let's see, I'm going to make that style, make its height 1/10. That's fine. Let's do. Oh, there's ADJ and TXT. Oh, that's a layer. Never mind. Yes, that's what it was. So resub was the line style I need, which is 09B013. So if I go to my adjoiner and set that to be the same, 09B, I forgot it already. Resub is 09B013. B013 right here. Okay. So it's going to be that, and it's going to be 253. and a join text. Okay, so now if we select these and change their line style to just match that, we'll do a regen. Gonna set the line type scale now as to point. It's a little bit large, select similar here. All right, there we go. Okay. And finally, we'll set our text style of adjoiners. Now this is another difference here, Michael. You see any of these SHX, those are the CAD fonts. And over in the style column, there's nothing to select. And if you want to make them look like they're italic or whatever, you have to give it an obliquing angle. That's what this is up here, this oblique angle. Okay. Whereas system fonts, you can still do that here, but I don't think it has any effect. But to get that, you have to choose it from this style. Now you have italic, bold, bold italic, and regular, that sort of thing. Okay? Okay. So now this didn't show up as point 1. There we go. And so now, wait a minute, let's see. We also want to put that on the joiner text, not a joiner, because it's, yeah, there we go. So it's going to be black. Okay, now, all we have to do is to match. That's going to control what these are going to look like, okay? And that's a match properties. I'm going to let you drive now. If you go up and grab your little paintbrush out of that toolbar at the top, okay? And you want to take that as your source. You click it once, and now go click each of those things in turn. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. And you're done. So hit enter.
Okay. I have a question about leaders. I need to draw. This actually isn't where this is. It's down here. So I was going to draw a leader from there.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
There, but
okay.
I haven't been able to do it. So.
Okay. Let's see. Well, let's see. Now you could simply position it here and then turn it to parallel to this bearing and distance.
Okay, that's probably better.
Yeah, so let's do that. And then the way we're going to do that is this. We're going to draw a line just so we can measure its angle. And I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to go from here up to here. And then I'm going to move, select object, I'm going to type L for last so that I can, let's see here now, finish selecting, and then I'm just going to move it off here just so I can see, okay? So now I have a line drawn that's exactly on that line. I select this and I look over in its properties, and oh, I thought I was going to read its rotation. I guess not there, but all right. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to move it. I'm going to grab the grip and I'm just going to move it to that corner right there. Okay. And then to rotate that, I keep it selected. It's lined up with the end of my temporary line. I'm going to come over here and grab this rotate tool in the vertical toolbar. And I'm going to rotate from that point or that direction, and I'm going to see, can I lock? Yeah, if I hold the shift key down, it locks it horizontally. So I click there. Oh, shoot. Sorry, nope. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. Select it, rotate it, and I'm going to rotate it about that point, and I forgot to do this part. Now, see, it's asking for an angle. Now, you can, yeah, there, that'll work. So you can then snap on that end point. Okay, so now we're parallel. So now I'll select that line, delete it, and I'll also just now take this and move it into place, say right in here somewhere. And it's really strange. I try to sneak it in there to make it stay inside that red line, but I got to remember that red line's not going to plot. Right. So that's one thing. Now, okay. So far, so good. I'm going to hit save. Oh, we got a couple more, maybe. We have these owner names, and they are, one thing I want to get it off of that setback line a little bit. It's the same deed and plat number, it looks like. Okay. Would it help to throw one of those away and put a land hook in there, or?
Yes.
Okay. Do that. All right. So I'll select one of those and get rid of it. And now here's another something. See how that line looks solid all the way up?
Yeah.
That's because there's two lines being shown there. Go into model space and I select this and I look up here and I see there's two lines. See, that's one going this way and one going this way.
Yeah. And
there's not, it's just coincidental that you happen to line the gaps up okay over here. So what to do about that? We can adjust one of them. If I select this and if I change its direction, if I reverse its direction, it might line it up. I don't think it will. Yeah, I see. Yeah, don't do that. Crap. What is going on here? There we go. Apparently, when you reverse that polyline, all of those little dependencies on that, like the area of it, all that stuff wants to recalculate. So yeah, just leave it alone. It'll be okay. All right. So now we have this guy. Now, this guy is on, let me go back to out here. So this is on a layer called a joiner, which I made gray because that's what I wanted the lines to be on.
Yeah, that shouldn't be on the joiner.
Right, so I want to put that on. You can either put it on a joiner text, or there's one down here called deed. There could be title block, labels. I can't. Hold on a second. Let me open this up a little bit so I can read it. And then I'll take this, scooch it back. All right, so now layer. I've got title block, notes, line work, images, table text. I don't know. We should have it. That's annotation. That's the one I wanted. There we go. So, all right. Now scooch that back in a little bit more. All right, so now to draw a land hook, you can just draw a Z, but I think there's one that's already prepared for us. That's what I'm going to look for. So the first thing now, right now, I'm still sitting on this layer called setback limit. You can see up here where we are. So I need to switch layers. I want to be on, say, well, actually, I also want to be in model space so that that hook goes with it if it ever goes. So now I want to change layers. Instead of the setback line, I want to be on, I'm going to select this. That's my property line called resub. That'd be all right, I suppose. Okay, so that's selected. And if I want to make that my current layer, this button right here is called MOLC, which stands for Make Objects Layer Current. So once it's selected, if I click that button, and now I click off of it, and I see that that's my current layer. Okay. And my color is set to by layer, by layer, by layer. Everything is good, except I will probably, because that resub has a line style assigned to it for that property line. Once I draw this land hook, I'm going to make sure that it has a separate continuous line style. Okay, now to draw that, I'm going to look under draw and see if it is available either in symbols. Don't see anything here. There's sections.
Might be under leader.
Maybe, but I doubt it. Take a look here for a second. If I insert a symbol, and these are probably not going to be in this one. This is more for like planimetric mapping. NCS, let's see, map. Is that what I'm in now? Map symbols, yeah. All right, so let's look first of all just plain old points, and I don't think, yell if you see it, but I don't think it's going to be here because I honestly, I think there's a command. It doesn't, I just can't remember where it is, or maybe if it's not even, it's potentially not even in this software. That's a problem with knowing all these different ones and having to keep track of 5 or 6 different computer systems. I mean, it's simple enough to draw your own too. You can just click, click, click. But I wanted to find if there's a one pre-made. There it is. Okay, so that's the one we're going to use, and we're going to we'll have it ask us for the rotation, or we could say rotate by center line, which would ask for this, maybe. Use annotated symbols, yes. And the symbol size, I think, and if I make that 0.25 1/4 inch, or let's make it even a 1/2 inch. Layer name, and we'll put it on resub, or let's put it on, I don't remember, boundary. Did we freeze boundary?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think maybe we
Oh,
did.
let's put it on bearing text because it's continuous. All right, let's see here what happens. So if I pick now, let's see here, O for options, and that should be, let's see, prompt rotation angle, yes. Okay, prompt, select entities. Enter coordinates, pick a point or a point number. Okay, so now I want to pick a point. So I'm going to need to decide where I want to put it, like maybe right in here or down in here or right near the owner's name, wherever you think. Pick a point or point number. This command is not available. Gee. All right. It has a problem with working inside the viewports. So let's go back to this and do it in here. All right. Draw symbols. Insert a symbol. Everything's good to go there. Symbol size. So that should be a 1/2 inch. We did say use annotative. So there we go. So we'll say okay. Now to pick a point. So to pick a point, if I just click on that line, see how that red square lights up here? So that grabs that endpoint because that's my entity snap is on. So I'm going to override that temporarily. Right up here, I'm going to grab this one that says nearest. So now it'll go right where I click. So if I put it here, it wants to know a rotation angle now. And well, I think 0 might work for us. Let's see. Well, it didn't seem to do us very well. What we got here?
Oh, there are those points.
Ah, that's where those 2 strays went that we did the last time. Don't know how or why. Nothing there. Okay, good. And that should be the vicinity map. Yep. All right. So let's see. Zooming back in here. There was our legend. There was that little sample. Find list. The last thing that I did. It finds it. It's there. It's just tiny. So let's change its size. Let's change its scale to 5. It doesn't matter on that one. All right, now I can start to see it. All right. And then we'll just rotate that. I'm going to rotate it about its insertion. Boy, this is not a very convenient way to show you how to do one of those, is it? Just sort of stumbling through it. All right, so if I go to that insertion point, and I'll just do it like so. All right. So now back to this. Does that give us, is that big enough? Do we want to make it bigger? Let's just make it.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, so would that work? What are these? Oh, I know what those are. Those are those. All right. So I think that's good. Are you still with me, Mike? I can't hear you at all.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah. It was just because you weren't speaking and it got all real quiet. I thought, well, I was afraid I had messed up my speaker stuff. Okay, so far so good.
How about the location inset?
Yep, let's bring this guy up a little closer.
Oh, we need the tables too.
Yep, we need the tables. That guy's good over there across the street. And we need to do the little thing that lays over top of this and shows us where it is. Now, what I'm going to do, we could draw it, in paper space, but then if that ever shifts and moves, it doesn't go with it. So we're going to make sure that we, find out where it is and
Let me show you
place it. Well, let's see.
That road right there is where we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, so now, of course, you've shifted all this to be in state plane, right?
No, I shifted the other way. I did a localization and shifted from state plane to the feed coordinates.
Oh, okay. What happened there? There we go. All right. Yeah, I was going to say, if you're in state plane, we can have this actually show right up, right where it sits, as long as this is brought in with its geographic position correct. But if not, we're going to do something kind of interesting here. We're going to, I think that's a 2000 scale. I still need to, right there, okay. Boop, 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 boop. What I'd like to do is we're going to take those two property boundaries and we're going to copy them up to, we're going to do this over in model space, and we're going to copy them way over to where they go and scale them so that it'll lay over top of our stuff. So I'm going to go back to model space and I'm going to select these two boundaries and I'm going to copy them. Just one, I'm just going to put it out here. I'm going to go way up here to wherever that thing is. There it is. All right, so tell me where I'm going here. Is it?
Okay, it's a little bit confusing because it's upside down. It would be.
No, you can pan and zoom while you're in the middle of this copy command. Just be aware that we're still running the copy command. So get it sort of zoomed in into place, and then we'll fine tune it. Okay, so that is that up there at Edmund?
Yeah, right there.
All right. So zoom in there as tight as you need to make it and put it down as to the way you think it should look.
Well, that's pretty close. The cul-de-sac should be right at the end of that road.
Okay.
Probably something like that.
All right.
That curve is
That, yeah, you see the curve at the letter E?
Yeah.
That's coming out of that curve right there. Yep, right in there, like that.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and click the mouse.
I did.
Okay, now, with that being, let's see. All right, so now that's done. Now, did you notice all of that prompting down here? It wanted to know the lot number and this and the other. That's because
No,
those.
I wasn't watching that. I was completely focused on the drawing.
Okay, so, well, I'll show you what it is. If when I roll this back, when we said copy,
Yeah.
we picked a point, we moved it, and then it said specify a second point, and then we did that, and it said not a text entity, square footage, blah blah blah. It wants to know a lot description because you already had two lots. Pick an area for the label point to go in, and all this kind of mess. So, you know, it's trying to do all that because that even though it's just a polyline,
Okay.
it's really you know, it has some intelligence to it. And so to keep that from happening, if I ever do anything else with that again, I can select those two things. Well, I don't have to select them yet. I think I have to do this first. But that's this drawing utilities. And this is to remove extended entity data. That's what that stuff is. Okay. So select entities to remove the extended entity from. So that one and that one. So now they won't, look, what was this lot description 5? I just keep pressing escape here. So now it says it removed it. Let's also take out reactors. Whoops. That one and that one. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, since we're sitting right in here.
Can
Yep.
we type the word site in there?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do all kinds of little stuff here.
Okay.
But to be able to do that, I want to make this outside boundary just a single continuous thing. So to do that, I need to explode it because it's I've got one is here and one is here. I can either explode it or I can just take out that middle line. But if I delete or remove polyline segment, this tool right here, I'm going to click once for that one. So now that one's gone, but it still exists for this one. Okay. And then I'll take it out for there again. So now we have two things. I've got, there's my one, there's the other. I'm just going to now join those together. I'm going to do a join nearest. I'm going to select this and this. And now it's done like so. Okay, so to put, or let me show you first of all, when we get back over to here, now you see that, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to show up like so, and it's sort of, you know, it's a little heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back over to here and I'm going to select this. I'm going to change its line weight to just be default. Ooh, we got another issue. I need to join that. So if I join, there we go. So I also want to change its line type just to be, I'll just make it continuous. So let's drag this down to continuous. Okay. Now I'm here. I have this line, this outline, and it is on layer resub. I'm going to change that layer at this point. I'm going to put that on title block line work. We'll just call it. And I'll make that current. Oops. Make object current. And excuse me. Now it looks like it has a gray background, but it doesn't. But I'm going to put excuse me, a little shaded background in there so it stands out a little better.
Okay.
I won't make it completely black, but I'm going to make it, you know, a gray. So I'm going to let you do this one. If you go up to the draw menu and choose draw, hatch, and you want to do a solid fill polyline. Okay. And the color, you want to pick that color and change it. Just type down there where the number is highlighted down at the bottom, or right, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Make it 252. Okay, and say okay. And the layer name up there where it's right there, yeah. You want to change that to just call it current, C-U-R-R. No, I'm sorry, call it C layer, C-L-A-Y-E-R. And that's a special word that means the current layer. Okay. Oh, we didn't even have to do that. You could have just checked right there. I didn't read ahead. There we go. But we don't want to use the layer. We don't use the color, so we'll use that. And now, since it is a closed polyline, we'll be able to just, we'll pick the polyline. But if we had multiples, we could say pick an interior point, but that should do it. Let's go ahead and click OK. And then it's asked you to pick the entity. So pick that polyline.
Wow, that's hard to find the mouse there.
Yeah, it is. And now say enter because you're through selecting. Hit enter again to exclusion. Hit enter again. There. Did it work?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Okay. All right. And I want to make this go to the back. There we go. See that covers over that contour line. Okay. So now we're back to here, and when we zoom out enough, like at Plat scale and regen, we see that we've got, you know, something that's evident as to where it is. Now, if you want to call it out, though, like what you said, you want to put a little leader or something to it, then that's what, then, so that's where we'll go next. We're going to either, you can either do a standard Cad Leader, which is that angled looking thing, but you probably want to do like a nice site kind of deal. So here's what I would suggest is we've got several tools like over in here that we're going to use, but I would do a, let's just do a circle. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on? There it is. All right, I'm going to do a circle starting right here, and I'll make it big like this. Okay, and then I'm going to choose this, draw these leader things. See what they are. There's a curved arrow leader with text, special leader, I'm not sure. It draws a curved leader. Draw this section of contour line, create a leader pointer line. That's interesting. Now here's a call out leader and a bold curve leader. Now if you do a call out leader, we're going to call it site, did you say?
Yeah.
And we're going to select that is going to be on, let's put it on annotation. And we'll use and we'll make that 0.2. I don't want to do a mass. Let's see. This will be interesting to see. Let's try it here. Let's try it. We'll say, okay, pick the call out point. So if I pick like here, wow, that sucked. Let me try this. That's a polyline. That's a solid. So it's doing this as solids. All right. Select similar. I guess it's not going to do that. I want to change its color to 2, 5, 2 or 3. Let's make it 2 so I can see it. 2, 5, 2. Paper text height, 0.2. That's not 0.2. Wow. Paper text height. Oh, that's 0.2. No, it would be 0.2 feet. Well, that's obviously Mike, not ready for prime time on that one. I'm just going to select that. We'll try a different one. Let's come back up to this. Select this. Let's make this annotation. Annotation and line weight. We'll make. Let's make it say 40 millimeters. All right, so Edmond Road, Eastern Panhandle Recreation Trail, and now try one of the other options. Leader. This time we start here. Okay, so that's going to be that'll work. Except we don't need to make it quite so big. And we want to make our color different. All right. So if we draw a bold curve, starting point, I'm going to say nearest. And into the arrowhead will just be there. And I'll end it there, okay? And now I'm going to draw some text. So I'll just draw standard text. And I'm going to just click right here. And my height, I'm just going to graphically show it. Let's see. No, I don't need to do that. Let me see. Let's make it 2/10. And horizontal across the page. And we're going to call it site. Okay. So this then needs to be a wee bit bigger. I'll move this over to here. I will erase this and draw that one more time. If I draw a leader, a bold leader. Now, watch what happens to the curves. And I'm gonna once we do this, I'm gonna erase it and let you draw it again for yourself to get so you can see what it feels like to do it. But it says it asks for a starting point. And again, if I just pick like up here on the circle, you see that red circle shows up. That's because you've got center point on. So I'm going to come up here, and just for this command, I'm going to clear the snap. So I hit that red X over there, and now I'm going to come back, and I'm going to choose nearest so that it starts on the circle. And now the next prompt that it's looking for is the end of the arrowhead. So I'll make the arrowhead right there, and now it wants to know, you know, where does this need to go? And you see, as you do it, that edge, you know, it lines up. Right now, I can keep it vertical looking. So if I do it like that, it's not exactly vertical, but again, it's just a label, so I don't really care. But I do want to make sure that when I'm doing this, that I don't, you know, overwrite something that might be important. Like maybe I want to see that road a little better. You know, just any kind of things that you might want to be aware of. So now I'm going to select that polyline and delete it. And I will hand you the mouse. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit better so you can see. All right, so now go ahead and draw that so you can get a sense of what you have to do with it. And that was the bold curve leader. Okay. Now a starting point, so you want to clear those and just give it a, you can either just eyeball it or click that, not that one, but keep going to the left. Keep going, look right, one more, right there, okay? And if you're too far down there, remember you're going to be curving it. Now it's asking for the end of the arrowhead. So that sets the height of the arrow. So go ahead and click wherever you want that to be. And now move it over to the right so that till you get that line looking like it's vertical. Like right in there, perfect. And you don't have, you can move the text to meet up with the arrow if you get it like you like it, okay?
Yeah.
Now that may be what you like. Just do an REA and see what it looks like. And maybe do another REA so you can see it.
Pretty good.
Now, do you think that gives the, so do another regen, another REA, regional. There you go. Now, do you think that gives it, makes it stand out enough?
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe.
Yep. Yep, do.
I've lost your audio again.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Maybe I did something. Nope. All right, I can't hear you if you're talking.
I am talking.
Okay, now I heard that. Were you talking before?
Yes, I was.
Huh. I don't know if it got muted or something on your end, or I'm not sure, but okay. All right, so is that, you think that'll suffice for that?
Yes.
Okie doke.
I think that's
Now we need
excellent.
now we need those tables, and that'll do.
Yep.
All right, now let me take a quick look. And I apologize, Mike, you sent that to me and I just did not get to it.
Those things happen. I understand.
Yeah. All right. So flat making.
By the way, I saw somewhere in here when I was looking yesterday, somewhere where it said you could, oh, it's under the draw maybe. Yeah, table.
Yes. But when you draw a table, I'm not sure if they fixed this or not. It used to not work so much. But that may be what I'm thinking of. If you draw a table, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So now,
Oh, you can import text too.
well, this is the actual data that's going to drive the table. It says
Okay.
input data file.
Yeah.
And here are your types up in this list right here.
Yeah.
CSV, that's comma separated value, could be a text file, which is TXT. ASC is also a text file. It's an ASCII text file. And they've now extended their programming a little bit into the modern age, and you can choose an Excel spreadsheet. So perfect. So let's navigate to find that waiver and something tables, although we may need to split that into two different tables. We'll take a look and see. So do you know where that one was that you made for me?
I think I just, let's see, I probably put it in this file.
I have it. I mean, I can find it, but
well, let me see if I can find it here.
yeah, since it's your map on your computer, well, might as well get it there.
Right there.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No. Look down here. You're looking for that. Let's see. There it is.
Okay, it's not there. Let's double click in here. Nope, nothing in there.
Look back in Carlson. Did we look?
I think we did look in Carlson.
Okay.
I'm sure I would have put it in this file somewhere. Permits, maybe. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. All right. So now go ahead and choose that and say open. And let's see what happens. Now hit open again. And it says draw table. All right, sheet name. We'll leave this like it is. That's the sheet name, I think, in the spreadsheet. And the first line of the file is a table title. Use headers for the column width, total included on the last line. We don't need a total. Or maybe we do.
We won't need a total. We'll need a total for one, but not for the other.
Okay.
We'll need an acreage table with the acreage of the two.
All right. So now pick a location for the table. I'm going to just put it over here off to the side for the moment. And I'll take all of those things by default for right now. It brings everything in. Oh, wow. Looks like shit. Are they? It's almost like they make us do everything in model space and then do another viewport to show it. I don't want to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to do something outside of Carlson. I'm just going to do it with some CAD tools. As long as IntelliCAD will support them, we'll have to see. I'm now loading up your spreadsheet, and I want to get everything to, in fact, let me change that. No need to do it on my system. I'm on yours. if I do this, and is Excel running? No. Find me that spreadsheet, and I'm going to do some edits. There we go. All right. So if I do, this now, so this is one table, right?
Yeah.
And this is the other table.
Yeah.
All right.
And even if you have no waivers, you still have to put the table in there and say none. NA.
Sure. Yeah. And do we want, crap, undo that. All right. Let's see. I think I want to take this. And I want to put it over on another sheet. And let's see if it gives me a choice here. Paste formulas, number formatting, keep source formatting. My column widths. All right, paste values, other paste options. Let's not do that. Let's do that. And where was I? Keep. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now. So that's a second sheet. Here's my first sheet, and I'll just, at this point, I can clear that out. Just delete, clear contents, that's fine. All right. Let's just do this. All righty, now, did we have, I'm looking back at this, it's not on that. Do we have a sample?
Yeah, I sent you a couple of them. Let's see, I've got one here on my desktop we can look at, probably.
Yeah, okay. Let me close that back up and go back to that. Yeah, show me. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so there's, okay, yeah, let me zoom me into that. Let's see it. Oh, there we go, like that. All right. So Jefferson County planning date granted, and then that's, all right. Oh. So I'm going to make this that. I'll take where's that? So I don't want to do that. And you see up there it says table 1.2-2.
I don't think that means anything.
Okay. That's telling them what this table is to them, I guess. All right. And then section of ordinance. I'll take that off. Date granted. Whoops. And then we say not applicable. All right. So I'm going to open this up a little. And really, I don't need that column. I don't really need that either. All right. These are centered. Whoops. Oh, come on. That and that. Here's what I'm looking for. Okay. Why is it doing that? Actually, what I want to do is I really sort of want that as well, let's see. Why, oh, why is that staying? There, okay. Now this, I just want to say, like so, and this like so. And I'll take this out. And then these, this will be centered. Also, I'm going to wrap the text, but oh man, why? Well, let me see. I can't figure that out. Why is that not like this one? I don't want to be centered. I want it to be on the left. Okay. This I want to be. Oh, I see. It's the horizontal business. Ah, there we go. So that's here and here. And we'll close that back a little bit. And this back a bit. Oh, so we need to make sure it says word wrap. That we're going to wrap the text. And we'll scrunch that down just enough to make it wrap. Okay. All right, now, you don't have, I mean, these are going to be upper and lower case. Is that okay for your Plat?
Sure.
Okay. And I'm going to squeeze this up a little bit. To set the vertical tracking on this a little better. Right. Yeah. All right, let's see here. I want the wrap text. All right, I think I want those to be a little closer together vertically, but we'll see. All right, let's see, to be a 12 pitch. All right, so if I take all of this and make it 12 point. This up, yeah, those merged. So I'll just take these and unmerge them. If I can figure out there, take this and delete it. And then across the three, merge them. And I will center that vertically there. And then finally, I'm going to set this all up as a table. I'm going to do this, but oops. Quick second here. Excel. Control option in return. All right, so control, oops, here, control.
Starting narrator. Narrator dialog. Okay.
Whoops.
Alt plus enter.
Uh,
Narrator keyboards. Exiting narrator.
all right. I'm sorry.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, and a little thing popped up. Sort of double click, Alt Enter. That's what I'm trying to find it. All right, so now alternate. There we go. That's what I wanted. So now I can take this. And it gives us a little bit better, maybe a little more. So if we have a date like 12/25/2020, these will all be centered. These will be on the left. The sections will be under here, so that's going to be good. Now, to look like an intentional table, we're going to give it a couple of extra lines, and we're going to do some borders here. And we're going to take a standard one for these interiors. And we'll make a bold one for here. So now that will look like that. We'll save this for now. All right. So I'm going to select everything I want to do here, and I'm going to right click and choose copy. And I'm just hoping this is going to work. It works great in MicroStation. Let's see what happens here. And I come right in here. I'm going to be on annotation. I just want to be on that layer. There we go. And now if I right click and choose clipboard paste, it just brings in the text. Okay. Not that one then. If I That's what I'm looking for. Perfect. All right. So paste Microsoft Excel worksheet. Yeah, look at that.
Where did you find that?
I'll show you in just a sec. See, where do I want to put it? Let's put it right up here. And let's move this guy down to here. And we'll set its, we'll rotate it to match that. So that has a rotation of this. I will copy that. I'll set this one to be that same rotation with the paste. So now they're there, and I'm going to select this and delete it so that you can do this, okay? So we are in Excel. So go ahead back to Excel. Now, what I did in Excel was I made a table and, you know, put some borders on it, that sort of stuff, so that it looks the way I want it to look. See, these gray lines over here, those are just the grid lines. They don't really, they're not really there. They would, you know, print, they won't print.
Right.
But now let's see, I'm gonna make this bold. Those would not be down there. This maybe we'll do just a real light. It's a little too much. Let's do that for a minute now. Save that. Okay. So what you're going to do is you want to, now that we've got this set up the way we want to see it. In fact, let me change this text a little bit. No, I think it's all right. It's all right. I want it a little bigger. Let's make it 14 point. There we go. All right. So now take your mouse and you go, now that we've set this up, we, you know, as if we're going to print it, we're going to click the mouse up in the upper left corner cell, that A1, and we're going to drag down to the bottom, C5. Okay, and let up. And now you want to right click the mouse and copy. See up there at the top? It says copy. Okay. Now go back to Carlson. Press escape. Now, right click the mouse. And this is a clipboard operation. So we're doing it through the clipboard. So we're going to go to there, and all the way at the bottom, you see where it says paste special?
Yeah.
That's where we got it. And we want to do a Microsoft Excel worksheet. Say okay. And because we were in Excel, now, no, wait, be careful because it's going to snap to the end point of that line. Go up to the snap toolbar and turn it off. See that red X right there? Click. Okay, now. So now just visually, you know, put it where it needs to go. Does it need to go a little closer to the, there you go, like right in there. And then that's it. Now, go ahead and save your drawing. And let's go back to Excel for a minute. And we're going to fix up the other one in just a minute, but I want to show you what happens here. So if I close out of Excel, we saved it. Now, double click that table. well, escape. Get on the edge of it and double click it. There you go. You see what it did?
Yeah.
So anytime you have this in any Microsoft Excel table that you put in your files, if you ever need to go back and change something, you're not editing the, CAD text.
Right.
It'll put you right back into this. So if this ever should update, it will update the drawing automatically. Okay.
Okay. So, and I can move that table if I need to, right?
Oh yeah, in the drawing, sure. Now, we made this over here, so I'm going to come back and grab it again. I'll cut that. I'm going to come back over here now and just paste it, because now we can have it. We can have it all in the same sheet because we're not bringing it in sheet at a time. We're going to bring it in by selecting the cells we want. Okay. So now I have, in fact, let's see, I no longer even need this sheet. I can just delete that sheet. And so let's do some matching here. So this happens to be a 30.6. And we want to copy that format and make it the same as that. Okay. Right. And then oh, it's the same stuff, just has data in it. Okay, I got it. All right. Let me see here. What do I want to do? I want to do this. I'm just getting enough up here so I can just take this to here, copy, and I'll come right here and paste. Except what I want to do now is type this text where this one was. Okay. We want to match that. Why is it not? There we go. I had to do the whole row at a time. Okay. This, we no longer need any of that. Now, these are all individual cells. So I'm going to select the text here and put it back to here. Now I'll select this, cut that, and paste that. parking and access drives set back from 10 feet to 0 feet. Okay. That's the form we want to use. This. All right. So, all right. Might as well do that. It's fine. All right. So now I'm going to do this one. I'm going to paste and then cut, paste, and then finally cut, paste. Okay, now this, let's see, let me take this and this. That's what I want to do there. There we go. All right. So now this to this, I want to copy. And right here, I want to paste. Okay. I'll keep the well, we may have to. Let's see, 1 second. All right, now, here to here, I will copy, and I'm going to come up here, and I want to paste values. Why is it getting that shaded? All right. Oh, it wasn't being shaded. It was just because it was selected. I see. All right. Wow. All right, let's try this now. Copy and paste and just escape. Now these I no longer need. I thought we said that was going to be centered. Okay.
Okay, we need to change the title, the main title up there from Jefferson County Planning Commission waivers to Jefferson County Zoning Board of Appeals variances.
We did that once already. What happened, I wondered. All right, Jefferson County, what was it again?
Zoning Board of Appeals variances.
Okay, zoning. Okay. Now I also need to set my borders back. All right, this is a different size text than that. That is as well. That's 12, 14. So we can make these 11. These will be 11. And we'll set the word wrap on this one, or actually on all of them. And set the vertical to that. That's going to be centered there. Okay, now, because we are exactly the same width and all of that as we did before, let me save this file. All right, so go ahead and paint this new, oh, wait a minute. We need to do one other thing. 3960. We save that. I know what's going on. Okay, let's see here, Dad's. Format cells, border. There we go. And then all right, let me set these cells up, these borders up once again. Format cells, borders. I want that one for that, 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 and that. Is that the one I want? Let me take a look at it.
So when you revise the spreadsheet, it revises it on the drawing too. Huh?
That is correct.
That's pretty neat.
So, border, format cells, border. All right, so let's do that for the outside and that with that color for the inside. See what that looks like. No, I don't. Let's do that for the inside. And I'll do the same thing here. That for the outside, that for the inside. All right, now we'll save that, and when we come back to here, that will have brought this back. Now, we can do this two ways. You can, you've done this one. We now have a second one. Now we can either go back and do this and make a second paste, or we could actually paste all of this so that it links back together, which is really what I'd recommend that we do.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead, it's selected now. So go ahead and right click and copy. And now go back to there, to CAD, and select the first one and delete it. Just get the edge of it. There you go. Now press delete. Now you want to right click, and remember it's a clipboard operation. Okay, it's a different copy than CAD copy, so we're going to paste special. There you go. And if we need to move the bar scale, we will. Don't worry about that. Just position this. Make sure you turn your snaps off.
Oh.
When you turn that off like that while you're running a command, it only turns it off for the duration of that command. So, so that's good. Now you can click it down. It's ready to go. Let's now, we're going to move this guy, which was that. What do we have here? We have a text and block. Okay, so let's move. No, let's see here. Move. We want to put it like that. Maybe should be fine. Okay. Oh, looky here. See what it did? It brought those grid lines with it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now here's how we fix that. Since it's there, it's linked. I'm going to go back to this. Okay. And I can deselect that. I don't have to be on it. To turn those off is one of our preferences, which is set where?
I think it's in that, you can do it in that document, I think.
Oh, yeah. It's
I think if you go up under review, I think there's an option there to
no, it shouldn't be that. Might be under view. There it is. Okay, now if we save that file, let's see if it now automatically open, or if automatically updates that. There it is. It did. It still though got the left and right.
How about if you remove that one row between the
Wait a minute, what's
row number 6? Oh,
I've got two of them going here. No. So I'll close that off. Now I'm here. Save. All right, I think if let me close this for a second. Now let's double click. It comes back. That's not showing up. That's fine. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. Let me see. Ah, here it is. I think because, see, it has its overall outlined shape. So I think if we no, I thought maybe we could change the frame of it. Let me see here. Oh, yes, that's it. It's a frame. Frame. Olay frame right there. Boom. It's set for 2. So let's see what we need to make it. Olay frame. Let's see what it tells us it does with their help. Olay frame. So they BKG color. Olay. Well, I just don't have it documented. All right, well, Olay frame is going to be what turns it off. So if it's 2, probably means to see it and plot it. If it's 1, it probably means to see it but not plot it. If it's 0, it should turn it off, which it does. But can I still select the object? No, let's see. If I do like that, you see the little dashed lines on the edges?
Yeah.
That tells me it's selected. I don't get a grip. I have to have the frame on to get a grip to be able to, because if I turn those Olay frame back to 2, and now if I select it, you see I get those grips?
Yeah.
I can actually change the scale of it by grabbing that corner and changing the size like that.
Wow.
Okay, and then you can move the whole thing by selecting it and grabbing that middle button and just position it wherever you need it to go,
Right.
like that. Okay, So we want the frame on, but I don't want the frame to plot. So give me a quick second and I will, since IntelliCAD's not going to document it, I will look it up for AutoCAD. AutoCAD OLA frame. System variable. Initial value is 2. 0 means it is not displayed and not plotted. 1 means it is displayed and plotted. 2 means it's displayed but not plotted. So that's what we want. So we want OLA frame to be 2. Perfect. So we save that. And Mr. Mike, you are darn close to having a finished plat here.
I think it's probably good enough to submit for the first review.
I think you may be right. So now, to get it physically plotted, are you
with a facilitator who's actually going
Yeah.
to submit it instead of me? So I'm just going to email it to him as a
Yeah.
PDF.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead and tell me what, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just want to make sure you know how to get the PDF out.
I
and all
don't.
that. Okay. Now here's another one of those little consistency things that I like to make sure we do. You see how this person signs their name on that line?
Yeah.
You sign your name on this line. I would like to see those lined up. I know they don't need to be, they don't have to be. Same thing with this date.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh,
Right.
and as a matter of fact,
Those lines above my name rather than
exactly. In fact, let's do this. It's going to come right to that and do that. So that gives you enough room. And I'm going to open this up. Oops. I want to make sure they have the same vertical height as you did in yours. And I'll do that by going here and selecting. What we got? 1, 2. Wow, this is sort of weird. Wow. 0. Oops. 7,500. Period. All right. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines. What is going on here? Go back here now. Dink, 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 dink. All right, so enter. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing with that. Say okay. And we'll select this. and move it up a little. Now we'll get it to line up left to right so that it works. And there's no lineup command in AutoCAD for whatever reason. Every other system has it. So I'm just going to draw a line from the line of your, well, no, from the insertion point of your text. Let's do it that way. From the insertion point of here, and I'm going to hold the shift key down so that it draws vertically, locks it vertically. And I'm going to now select this because it's slightly to the left, you see. And I'm going to move it, and I'm going to move it from the insertion point, which is this. So the insertion point, and I'm going to go to the perpendicular to that line. So now that's lined up left and right. And I'm going to have this vertex X and Y. Okay. So I'm going to now take this and move it from here to also perpendicularly to that line. So now it's lined up left to left to left. Everything's all good to go. I'll take this line and delete it. And I want to make this, and I'll move it from there to snap perpendicular here. So now that's going to be where it needs to go for his signature. And I'll move this from from here to let me see here. I need another line. Hold the shift key, click. All right, so now let's move him from the insertion to perpendicular. So he's lined up on the left. It's but we need to get that down. We also need, by the way, to move this down a little bit. I'll take this guy and copy it, CAD copy from here to perpendicular of there. So it's now lined up there, it's lined up here, lined up here. Everything's looking good. I'll take this and move it from here to the perpendicular of there. And let's see, we need to get 4. So there, dink, dink, dink. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it's the same amount of height to be able to sign in. And so now I'm going to move that from here to the insertion of, well, let me turn this off. The insertion of, oh no, I can't do it that way. I just need to get it visually close. Okay. Oops, space O, F, and that should suffice. Just get it, keep it from looking quite so monolithic. All right, now, what
Yeah, I realize
do we
under,
need to
under
do? How are we
developer, I have-
seated? How are we seated for?
Can you hear me?
All right, here's that. Does that need to be jammed in so close to your name?
No. Can you hear me? Hello?
I mean, I don't know if it was for a reason. And also you've got that looks like a
Placeholder.
phone number
Yes,
placeholder.
yes. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you anymore. Mike?
Yeah, I can't hear, I can hear you. You can't hear me. Hello?
Okay, I'm not able to hear you. Let me see. Okay, are you still talking?
I am.
Now I can hear you. Why are you're not doing anything different on your end, are you?
No.
Because I went to turn my volume up and it was already up, so I just had to slide it a little bit, and it apparently cuts out for whatever reason, and then brings it back in. Okay, well,
I'm looking that I have a phone number to put in where I have that placeholder. I'm looking at my
oh, okay,
emails to see if I can find it.
all right,
I need my mouse for a second.
got it. Yep, I've dropped mine. So
Okay, here it is. 304. Well, it's hard to read when they put it all together like that with no spaces. 304-995-9764. Let me write that down. I'll never remember it. 304-995-5764. Triple check that. 304-995-97. Okay. not typing. Oh,
Yes, it is. You
wrong
took
place.
it back too many places. Just click there and hit a, there you go, hit an enter. There you go. Now click to the right of it and then finish it. Okay. All right. Save your drawing. Oh, you know what else you might want to do? No, it might just be gilding the lily. I was thinking maybe we'd put a frame around this approval block, but let's leave it alone for now. I think we got enough frames floating around in the drawing. So I think that's all right. All right, now we are saved and we need to,
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay.
So thanks. All right, so we have everything saved and we need to to plot, you know,
Go to file
a PDF. Yeah. Oh, you know, before you do that though, I was just looking at something here. This is just a little bit out of, whoops. Out of whack. I think I'd like to get them to line up a little better like that. And that is just a polyline. So we can bring that up.
So that's another viewport.
It is. And if you recall, we had to do all that out in the model.
Yeah.
Heck, let's give you a little bit of, panache there. How's that? Okay. So yeah, because we did all that here in the model. Let's go back to, we're back down there. Let's see, we had a view saved of site location. I guess I gotta go to it. There it is. Nope. Let's see. Let's. Okay, now. I didn't want to mess up our rotation, our screen rotation. So now that we're rotated, we'll do that. Yeah, so see, we did all that stuff for the legend out here in the model because we had it read the drawing.
Right.
So that's what was going on. Now, I'm going to say view, and I'm going to See if I say modify, I think that's all I need. Actually, I'm not sure that that's going to work. Let me just delete it. Was that a new one? Called site. Site location. All right, so now we save that. So now anytime we go back to that view, it'll put us right back to here. And we're here. And we'll save. Oops, let's go to Zoom window. And save there. Now, okay. So here's how to generate this out as a drawing. There's two ways. You can print and you can publish, or you can plot and publish. I think they're both listed on the menu. If you pull down File, and we choose, yeah, it's either plot or PDF. Okay, so if you choose plot, you could do that same thing if you right-click the Layout tab, because you see that plot style manager and all that. Try that plot preview. Again, I think it's going to tell us it's not implemented. Yes, okay. So if you go down to that tab at the bottom of the sheet that says ANSI and right click, and you remember we did all that page setup and all that. So those are the same commands you were just looking at up on the menu. So if you do this, you can go ahead and say Page Setup Manager. And we say, wait a minute. Now let's see if we do that. No, can't do it from there, sorry. I was thinking we should be able to right click plot. It's not on there. Interesting, okay. Well, either back to the top, or that's the same as this little printer icon right there. So if we choose File, Plot, I don't want to do a setup. I just want to do a plot. There we go. So that's the same dialog box right there, with the exception of when you hit OK, it's going to go to the plotter. Now, the plotter that you have chosen is this drawing to PDF. So it's going to generate a PDF. Now, there's also, we haven't made a page setup name, but I'm going to hit one here and just call it standard, or not standard, default. NCC landscape. Is it C? Yeah, NCC. (17 by 22). Okay. All right, so now when we go to do a new one or another drawing, so we should be able to pull that down and be able to choose it. All right, so now if we say okay, I'm going to take.
It's still there?
Yeah, it keeps telling me that I've got my speaker muted. I think. Are you still there now?
I am.
Okay, yeah.
Your voice has diminished some.
Pardon?
Your voice has diminished some.
Yeah, it did, because I took those earphones out. So I'll try to speak as close as I can to theirs. All right.
Explain that to me. How to putting on earphones make your voice sound different?
Well, they have a microphone in the ear, their earbuds, and there's a microphone in the earbud itself.
Oh, okay.
When I take them out, then the microphone is the one on the computer.
Okay.
All right. All right. So now we're ready to roll with this. And if we say okay, go ahead. And we want to be, let's see, you're in the permits folder. So let's go back out to, say, this folder here and make yourself a new folder. Called plots or something like that. Just give it a type, click in it, rename it. There you go. Okay. And then click off of that so that the name registers, and then double click the folder again. Just click down in a white space. There you go. Now double click that plots folder. And now down below there, you see where it says this is the name, and it takes the name of the drawing file and the name of the layout tab.
Yeah.
So if that's what you want to use for that PDF file, that's fine. But if you want to call it a date and submitted for approval, whatever you want to call it, you may call it that. And you do not need to do the .pdf. It will put that on for you.
This is the 10th month, isn't it?
It's the 9th month.
9th month, okay.
Okay. So hit save. And off that goes. And it has now gone. So if you look in your Windows File Explorer, go to that folder. Now just double click that.
Okay, now I can email that or copy it to a thumb drive or whatever I want to do.
Yes, and look what we got though.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I'll tell you how that happened. It was because when we plotted it, we plopped it in, we saw it as black because it took care of the color swap, but it's not really a CAD entity. So it's taking on the color that it really is. And that is because that layer is that color. So that's no problem. Let's close this file here. And let's do it again. So we're going to go over there and select the edge of that thing, the table, just to get the edge of it. So let me see what, see what layer it's on. It's on layer annotation. So let's change the color of that layer annotation. There you go. And instead of cyan, make it white, which is right there. Yep. Now close that box, save your drawing again, and then plot again. Now, if you just touch that one, it puts that name down below. There you go. Yep. I feel a little better about that. Now, one thing I do want to do though is, if I want to take a peek at that. If that shading looks, if it's too, shoot.
Oh, there's something that's weird.
I can't hold it still. Yeah, see if that shading, it makes it look like the comics, the dots.
Look at the area in the middle of the lot.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so let's go fix all that. So let's close this. It sure is something here. There's that one versus that one. I think I know what happened when we were messing around with all of that copying the property line over, and it kept prompting us for stuff, remember? So for now, I'm just going to oh, for heaven's sake, come on. And yes, I know we still need to put the lot numbers back in too, so I'll do that in just a second. REA. Wow, now what? Okay, look out here, REA. Go there, view, res, yes, 20,000, that's as good as we get. Okie doke. Now 40 and 41, right?
Right.
All right. Oops. Oops. All right. And we'll repeat that over here. And it's going to be 41. Oops. Justification will be middle center. There we go. Thanks. Once more to the breach. All right, go ahead and plot that again.
But save it first.
I just did, yeah.
Okay.
Now, the other, you might as well look at it. Pull down that file and choose publish instead, or not publish, but PDF file, PDF. And just to talk about what these do, is this lets you output layouts to PDF. And that means those tabs across the bottom. So it would generate a model, a layout one, an ANSI. So if you start to get multiple sheets in a drawing file, you can use this and they can, and you've got that merge files and all of that. So when you do that, it lets you stitch them all together into a single PDF file.
Okay.
But for now, it's not going to give us any benefit. So you can play with that at your leisure.
Okay.
So back up one line to the plot and choose plot. And there's your publish. Okay, go ahead and do that. And there you go. Save that. Yes, to replace. And then double check that.
Looks good.
I think so. We've got the tables, we've got the signature blocks, we've got our legend, we've got the surveyor's certificate, scale, a north arrow, a statement of the north arrow. We've got a curve a curve table entry up there for our little curve, location map, adjoiners, and we've achieved some great consistency as far as viewings go. So I think we're in good shape. We got a land hook going in, so we show them owning both properties. Yeah, you know what, Michael, I'd say send it in, see what they say. And if they come back and say, wow, that's a good looking plat, then it's time to pour yourself a nice bourbon and have a cigar.
I just realized there's one thing well, they'll never say that. They'll always find something.
Oh yeah, that's true.
There'll be something wrong. One thing I know that we haven't added that we'll need to do at some point, but we can let them make it the first comment is an area table.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
And I'm noticing that my area added up is 100,000 less than the original surveyor's area, but I'm not going to quibble about that.
100,000th, like out to that fourth decimal places, you're just missing a little there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't quibble that one.
County engineer may, but I'll face that argument. Okay, so.
All right.
Area table.
So it's going to be an area table. Now, because we already have these other two tables and we've got some consistencies by look of that, although the area table is not exactly that same, but you could.
There should be an area table on that plat.
Okay.
That we've been using as an example. Let me see if I can get that up here. Yeah, there's area tabulation is what they call it.
Okay. All right, so again, we're going to do the same thing like we did with the other. We're going to use a, oh, you got to be kidding me. That's Sesame Street?
Yeah.
How about that? Big Bird lives there. Okay, so area tabulation, the lots, and then the total. What did his total line say? Did it just say total area or something like that? Or does it matter?
Yeah, I just said total
Okay.
area.
All right, so we did all this with the one spreadsheet. Might as well keep it as a spreadsheet so we can keep using tables. So we'll go back to Excel and let's choose
spreadsheet.
Yeah, let's pull down the file menu and choose save as so we can reuse part of this. And let's save as, and let's put this spreadsheet in. Yeah, I might as well keep everything, I don't know, submittal area or whatever. So there's your worksheet, and you want to title that area tabulation. course, I guess we could have made a different sheet in the same one, but this will work. All right. All right. So now let's take, we don't need this at all. So we'll get rid of that, and we're going to call this up here area tabulation. And we don't need this column anymore. And this will be the lot number. Or it's not always numbers, is it?
Yeah.
It is.
Well, he didn't even have lot number. He just had lot 1 and lot 2 and then total.
Oh, he didn't have headings. Okay,
No.
it's fine. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll say this column we will make right justified, and I'll give it some space here in just a minute. This column we're going to make left justified. We'll give it some space in a moment. That's centered across the top, so we can bring this down a little bit. It'll be fine like so. And so here we're going to give it one character indent here. I'm not seeing that move up any. Let's see. Don't need to merge. Where is? There it is, right indent. So we'll give it a character. That should be centered. And this one is going to be left indent. Give it one. And now this across to here, we need to center and merge. There we go. All right. So we're going to call that one lot 40. Lot 41. So go ahead and type your numbers in. Okay, do the next one down, and then you will do the summation. And you can put total in the left-hand column into that. 1961, a very good year. It's the year I was born. No, Mike.
But I'll
I know.
give you some.
Yeah, just let the spreadsheet do the work. There you go. Let's see if it'll. Wait a second.
No, I see what I did.
Yeah, because it's a piece of text. Let me.
I just put equals.
There you go. Equals sum. Let's see. Equals. Crap. Hold on. Shit. Let's fix that. All right, equals sum. And of course, because that's text, it's because you've got units here.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put the number in.
Well, for now, type it. There's actually the sum is num. Oh, shit. Sum, it is a num of B2 to num of B3. I think that'll work. Nope, of course not. Yeah. Well, for heaven's sake. Oh, I know. All right, there we go. Now. All right, so just type it. Sorry about that. We'll fix that in a future date. We can actually make crap. Hold on a minute, Mike. Sorry, forget that. Hold on. In fact, we don't even want this to do it this way to begin with. We don't want that left justified. We want this right justified. It just occurred to me. We do want it horizontal right. That's fine. And we're going to insert a column. And that one is going to be left. And this is going to be, actually, let's do this. Let me unmerge this for the moment. This is going to be numeric. Number 4. And we'll take this back a little ways here. And this is going to be acres. And this can be like so. Now, this, go ahead and hit your summation. That's fine, just hit enter, perfect. Now, we want to go back up and re-merge that. And we want to fix the borders. So border, this for the outline and none for the inside, except now I want for this one, I want to do the border of a smallish line. There. Okay. Let's do this as bold.
Yep.
And these, let's see, this one will do a little top line. like that. And let's bring this a little skosh closer. And this can go a little further this way. This can go a little further that way. Whoops, maybe too far. All right, I'm thinking that's looking good.
Yep.
We'll save that. It says update. All right. Now, go ahead and do your thing. Select it, copy it, and paste it special. Nope, nope, you don't. You shouldn't close that when you're doing it. You leave it running, but
Should I open it back up?
well, let's see if it links it directly. I'm not sure it will. It may prompt you for a file name now. That's okay.
Oh, that's weird. Look.
Oh man, look what happened.
Took
All
the
right,
other table.
all right. I know exactly what happened. All right, let's leave that. Let me double click this. Make sure that's still good. We save. We,
Oh, because that one was, I don't know. It
yeah,
bumped me.
let's close that. Now, let's go back to, where were we? Oh, there it is. That's what I thought happened. Okay. We were still linked to that other one. All right, so crap, let me close that. Let's see. There's this one. I'm concerned about that.
How about doing another file save as?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let me get rid of this. What happened?
You want me to go back to that?
Yes, go back to where we were. I did something. I hope I didn't delete something I shouldn't have. All right, so there. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to delete that now. If I open this, you see that little symbol up there? What? This is, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay. Where is that? Wavering variances. See, when I do it from the CAD file, it it's linked. But if I do it from here, 94308. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
This one's like out of date. It's
I think it changed it to, I think you actually, it changed it to the area tabulation.
well, maybe well, see, this is waiver and variance tables up here at the top.
Yeah,
All right, so let me see back to here. That says worksheet in RA, so it knows it's a worksheet in the DWG file.
yeah,
That's it. So if I save this, I also want to save as. Okay, now. Let's leave that running for just a minute. And instead of doing a save as, because that keeps the linking. I'm just going to make a new one. And that was area tabulation. Sure don't know why that happened. All right. So I'm going to go over here and select this, copy it, and I'll just come back here and paste. All right. This guy, I'll close. This one, wait a minute. All right, so paste and source formatting. That's fine. All right, so let's do 30.60, and these are 15.60. Okay. That I'll put away. That, $15.60. Okay, now getting somewhere. Tabulation. Clear the contents. This is going to say lot 40, lot 41 total area. And this column is going to be right justified. We'll add the there's that. This one will also be right justified. And this one will be left justified, but indented one. And that will be acres. So we copy and paste. Now, take out the bold except for this. This one we can delete. And this one, we were going to put a little top border over, and okay. So we are looking at, yeah, what are your numbers again there, Mike? Go ahead and type that in and then do the summation.
You want to do those as numbers?
Yeah, just the number itself, not the units. They're already there, but. And then go down, it's 1961. I remember the next one. So this way you can keep using this table. I'll resize the text here in a minute. You can keep resizing this table. You know, if you had like 7 more lots, you can do that all at one shot. All right, so this is 14, and these were 11. And let's bring that over back this way a little ways. And I think this is just a skosh big. Okay. We wanted to turn off our grid lines. Let me make sure we haven't screwed this up at all. No, we're good. All right. So now go back and do your cut and paste thing. Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot to do this. Let me see how many indents. That looks like it's got too many indents. Nope, just one. Oh. Okay. Now it's been saved. Now go ahead and do your stuff. Yeah. Now before you, yeah, okay, you're still on the right layer. You're on annotation. So now figure out wherever you want it to go and make sure you turn your snaps off when you do it.
Uh,
You know, maybe it should go up there above it all. I don't know. Or maybe, I know what, go down to the right of your table. Go down like,
there.
yeah. And we'll line the right edges up with it. How about that? Once it's time. I mean, just click it in a place now so it comes in.
You know, it's asking me for the opposite corner.
Well, no, you're trying to select something. Press escape. You need to paste. Remember,
Oh.
you gotta right click. There you go. And it's a clipboard. Clipboard.
Page special.
There you go. There we go. See, now just kind of eyeball it, make it come down the same gap that you see above the two below or above, like right in there. But a little too far, maybe right there. Closer. Yep, yep, click. All right. Now, what do we got? We got some consistency. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Let me save that.
I see that you know, the fact that you're using this from a spreadsheet is you can, you know, use this in another drawing and, you know, link to those different things. It should be no problem. One thing I would be careful of is if you're going to use this in another drawing, before you make changes to this, make sure you've got, you know, a backup copy of those original spreadsheets and the drawing. What I'd hate to do is go into a second drawing, edit that spreadsheet, and then find out this drawing updated itself, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
maybe when you do that, you know, make sure you do a save as and give it a different name.
Instead of a save as, can you just do a copy?
Yeah, you should be able to make a copy out on the, you know, out just make it another copy. Like this particular spreadsheet is in your RAI folders, right?
Yeah.
So, in fact, we're done with Excel there. So everything, like on a new drawing, when you have this, but when you have this in a new drawing and you go to double click it from the drawing, it's going to try to open up that original file. So perhaps the best thing is to just copy the spreadsheet first, make your changes in the spreadsheet, and then in your new drawing, you know how to do the copy and paste now. So don't copy this into another drawing here. Just go into a new drawing, open up a spreadsheet, and copy and paste whatever you need.
Right.
But if you keep that spreadsheet handy as something to work from, you're going to be consistent. It's going to be the right size. It's going to be the right, you know, layouts and that kind of stuff. And you'll be able to do it. You can add column or add rows if you need to. You know, so if you've got 7 lots instead of 2, just go in there and start inserting rows and start filling out the numbers, and your math will take care of itself.
Right.
Okay, so all good. So let's plot one more time.
Let me do one more save just to be sure.
Yep, that too. Now, before you do, you see down below where it says publish?
Yeah.
Choose that. Don't let up on it. Let me see. It says specify which blocks to include in the published file. That's, choose that. Go ahead and let it up, and let me see what that does. That is, It's sort of, it looks like Carlson has implemented something like sheet set manager. That's interesting. Okay, cancel that, and I'll play with that on my free time. And just say no, and then go back to Plot. Remember, you're in permits, so is that where we were?
You know, it's in plots, but the huh, that's interesting.
Where were we? Were we here?
There it is.
Well, that's field. Yeah, there's your plots. There it is. Wow, looking good, Mr. Mike. We may, you may, excuse me, we may find that those shaded areas are not, let me see, that one there looks nice. These look weird. You see the dots in that?
Yeah.
And this one didn't have dots. I do not know.
There's something that we fixed that went back to the way it was. That 302 property corner that has the. I'm not going to worry about that for this first submission.
Oh yeah, that gray line is over top of it.
Yeah, we fixed that.
No, actually, we did select it and say come to the front, but that gray line is, see, that 302 is in your model space and this gray line's in your paper space.
Oh.
So let me see what else we've got. So those are all okay there. And we said plot paper space last. Let's see. So if I choose this and then send him to the back, oops, sorry. Okay. Yep. I think, see, that's another reason to do these all in the same space, but let me think here a second. If we, because,
You noticed something else that, oh no, it didn't. Okay, that's good.
well, all right, so this, see, that actually ends right there. And you see it's a little bit over top of that. Okay. Now let me try to do something here too. Page setup manager, because see this says print paper space last.
Yeah.
I'm going to uncheck that. And there we go. So it was saving all the paper space items and drawing this other stuff first. and then putting the paper space then last. And the way the drivers are set to go is, oh, here we go. There's one thing. This one. Yeah, see, that's the problem there. The drivers are set to do what's called lines overwrite instead of lines merge. But because paper space was done for where we marked off site, then we're not going to be able to use that as a solution.
I noticed that the leader disappeared with the site labeled on it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We can't use that as a solution because of that, because this map is actually in the model space. So it waited to do this last, and because this was on top of it.
Okay.
Okay. In fact, I'd want to scoot this just a skosh away, so it's not quite so jammed. All right. All right. So, well, what we'll have to do then is this. No. Well, it's not reading that. Well, just do a nearest. It's reading its real size, not its scaled size. All right, no biggies. So we'll just come to right. There. All right, so from now on, we'll put those in model space. We know to do it that way better. And then what you might have to do is this border might have to, scooch around to take all those. All right. Now once again, save, plot, and I'm going to keep, wait, before we do that one more time. What do we have here? See, that looks the same as that. But when it generated the PDF, something goofy, I don't know. It has to do with this, I can tell you from experience. Whatever we're plotting here is a single object, and it carries a particular cost to be able to do that, and that cost is in terms of memory. So there's a lot, well, I didn't say a lot more, but there's, considerably more information being transferred in this paste more so than there is in this paste down here. Okay. Whether that has anything to do with what's causing that, I don't know. But I do see one thing I want to fix though while we're here. Much nicer. So if you notice what I did there, Mike,
I did not.
this NA
Yeah.
and these two lines of text were jammed right up against this left border.
Okay.
So all I did was I double clicked, went back to the spreadsheet and selected that column and gave it a single space indent, for the format. I said it was left and then I did raise its indent level. So anyway, so that is that. You should be able to, at this point, give it another plot and that should be good.
Yep. I think that's it.
All right. Well, Mike, I think anything else you do is just going to be gilding the lily. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah. I agree.
So
Thank you, sir.
you are most welcome. Let me know what the county says. I'm very interested
Okay, I will.
because I live in one right here and I have to put things in and they are notorious for trying to find stuff. And they've got a little engineering company. In fact, they're mostly surveyors, and the surveyors that work there, I know them, and they're all really good. In fact, the one guy was just awarded with Surveyor of the Year at the state level at Pennsylvania PSLS, and Don. Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank on his last name right now. Anyway, you may or may not know him, but they're all really good. But they've got this little snot-nosed brat of an engineer that does all their code compliance, and they're the municipal engineers. And so he likes to, he's a checklist. He's a checklist puncher. And I had this little job that my client he had bought a parcel of land that had an existing steel building on it that was used as a welding shop for years. And there's all kinds of weird stuff with this land. It's landlocked. The only way he can get into it is through a driveway easement through a property that's between him and the road. And yet that goes against the subdivision ordinance. You can't, you have to have direct access. You're not allowed to do any of that kind of stuff, yada, yada, yada. So it's all of these different issues and things. But this stupid engineer kid, part of it goes, oh no, you have to meet the stormwater ordinance too. That means you got to do a stormwater management plan. And it's, all we were doing was he's converting it to use for his landscaping business. And he wanted to build 3 little bin boxes out, in the back of the lot and put a little lean-to roof over it, you know, to store mulch and sand and stuff like that. So I don't even remember what it was, like maybe 12 feet by 30 some feet. And this idiot expected me to do a complete E&S plan and a stormwater management plan with all the pre-development runoff and post-development runoff and yada, 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 all because they determined that it was a land improvement project. I mean, I had to practically take these guys to court. It took a year and a half to ever get an approval out of them. So it's just a mess. So I know what they're like. I'm curious to see what Jefferson County does.
We will see.
All righty. Well, it's another end of another day, another week. So I'm gonna let you get on with that. And I'm gonna go out and play with my grandson. He's outside helping his daddy work on the fence. I'm gonna go out there and see if the fence is still standing.
Okay, good
And
deal.
all right, Mike, you take it easy and we'll talk to you whenever. Let me know when you got any issues.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, sir. You bet. Okay, bye-bye.